Welcome, welcome, welcome to Inside Out Pain Relief, webinar number 2, where we're talking about one easy way to ignite your core support. My name is Ann Asher. I'm a certified health coach, certified personal trainer, and certified orthopedic exercise specialist from the American Council on Exercise. And I like to look at myself as an exercise for chronic pain relief specialist because that's where I seem to do some of my best work. Though there is no certification for that exactly. So I thought I'd throw it out there, just letting you know. Um, Now we're going to talk in a minute about the webinar series here. This is the second in 3. The first one we talked simply about a maneuver called the quick ab pull-in. And in the next 2 webinars, starting with this one, we're going to help to activate that experience using imagery. Excuse me, please. But first, I'd like to just talk very briefly about why I'm doing this webinar at all. You see, I wrote a book called Inside Out Pain Relief, The Human Approach to Healing Your Body, and I put my heart and soul into it. It's now up on Kindle, and it's also available via a PDF by emailing me. We can talk about that later. But the point is that the book is filled with techniques and strategies and sequences that I give my clients, especially the ones who are working with their chronic pain, when they first come in, maybe the first 2 or 3 sessions. This is pretty much what I give most people, not always, but most of the time. And I wanted a way to make this very functional information a little bit more accessible to readers, because I feel that that would help people get into the work more and relax a little bit with it and do the techniques just a little bit more accurately, that kind of thing. At the same time, I'm starting to venture into the world of webinars when I need practice, right? There's a lot to doing a webinar, I found out. So I'm just interested in doing a whole lot of them to have it become like second nature. So I thought to myself, why not marry the 2 ideas and make a free webinar that nobody has to sign up for on the topic, so that readers of my book and passersby can learn a little something that might help them support their body weight or relieve pain. And at the same time, I get my skills set honed in a bit. So that's why we're doing it. And again, this is the second in a series of 3. I just randomly picked out a topic that's in the book that I thought might make a good webinar. Once I'm done with this series, and it just happens when I can do it, because I don't always have time to fit this in. So probably in a few weeks, you'll see another one. But once I'm done with this series of 3, I'll probably repeat this on a different topic that's inside the book. So you're learning about the quick ab pull-in and one easy way to ignite your core. And then next time I'll find another topic that's in the book. And I probably will rinse and repeat that process a number of times until I feel confident with webinars. So all you have to do for these webinars is go to facebook.com/posturally. That's my page, POSTURALLY. And I highly suggest going through the first one first if you can. If you can't, okay, but do try to get to it, because there's some information in there around this quick ab pull-in maneuver that would be really, really useful to have and have a little bit of practice with before you start in on the images. So there you have it. Let's get going. In the book, I talk a lot about the exercise paradigm shift, where we use movement strategically and particularly to get, and when I say get, I'm talking about engaging with, igniting, finding and feeling the core muscles. And once we get them, once we have a connection with those core muscles, we work them in various ways to develop support for the body. And one of the main ways that we do this, and this is very much a Pilates concept, is to find out, to keep the core stationary. We have to use muscles to do that, especially as we add movement, and we add challenging movements that kind of tempt the core to move, but your job as the exerciser is to not allow that movement to happen. And there's techniques for this, because we want to keep the core not only stationary, but in alignment while stationary. So again, the book is all about that. It goes through every technique. It gives you lots of images and holistic ways to get through these maneuvers so that you're working your core, but you're also being natural and being, operating your body with coordination and flexibility. But the idea here is to use limb movements, lower and upper extremity movements, and also movements of the trunk to challenge your core muscles to keep stability in that area. And I have found working with clients that this is one of the things that is absolutely invaluable for getting on a new road of physical well-being. So we talked about the quick ab pull-in in the other webinar. You will get a little bit of a review in this webinar. But first and foremost, it's a pretty easy movement. And when I work with people and when I write books and articles and things like that, I like to start people out pretty simply, because I find that when you can have success right where you're at using things that you already use, like your breathing, your positioning, your body awareness, very simple, easy to do movements, success can be at your fingertips. Just the same, though, I have noticed that some people, even though it is an easy movement to my mind, I've been doing this a while, some people still have problems getting into it. And that is why I use imagery. So I have two images to share relative to the quick ab pull-in. And today what we're going to talk about is the lower abs zipper image. Excuse me, please. I have a frog in my throat today. Okay, so the idea here is that in this particular case, with the quick ab pull-in, we're trying to activate a muscle. That's the main goal, the lower ab muscle, which we will discuss. And so for both of the images that we're going to try, one today, one whenever, probably in 2 or 3 weeks, the idea of these images is to help you ignite that muscle, to find it, to feel it, and to start using it, right? Now, in this book, in my book, I have images like the one you see here, where I did my best. And by the way, I've gotten really good feedback from readers about these images. Did my best to take the ideas, the concepts, the techniques that are in the book and distill it down to something very digestible very quickly, so you can apply these things immediately and not have to scratch your head and going, what does she mean exactly? And to the best of my ability, I try to keep it at least humorous or colorful or something fun to look at, because that's how I like to do things when I can. So there you have it. This is an example of some of the images that are in the book. You'll see a few more as we move along today. So again, I mentioned the transverse abdominis muscle. This is a muscle that wraps around your trunk like nature's back belt. So you've seen these ergonomic people wearing the back belts and lifting all day, and to be frank, I haven't checked the research lately, but when I have looked at the research, it didn't really pan out for external back belts. So the good news is you have your transverse abdominis muscle, which is your own back belt. It is muscle, and muscle, one of the things muscle can do for a body is to support it. So you've got that same effect, only you have a much better chance of it working in a way that's really good for protecting your back, for reducing pain and things like that. Now, again, this muscle wraps all the way around your trunk. You can see in the image here, it's a pretty big muscle. It goes from the bottom of your breastbone and the bottom of your ribs to the top of your pelvic bone. So that's a huge area, and all of the fibers go horizontal. Today, what we are going to do is focus on a very specific area of this muscle, which is in the lower part. It's below your belly button by a few inches. And if you've ever done martial arts, it's the dantian. If you've ever done Pilates, it's the Pilates powerhouse, but the name does not matter. This is the physical center of your body. And so we want to get to know this and find out how to use muscles here, because at the physical center of the body, ideally, all parts are centered and balanced around that point, and that can make for a lot less pain. But we still need the muscle work, right? So to get to know and to use and to strengthen the muscle that's in that area of the physical center of the body, you likely will lend yourself a lot of support for your posture. So when we contract that horizontal muscle that goes all the way around, it cinches things in towards the center, and that provides support. So let's get in a position for that quick ab pull-in. And by the way, the quick ab pull-in, which you can familiarize yourself with by going to the other webinar, which is also on Facebook, is the maneuver. It is the thing we're going for when we use images. The images are there to help you holistically get into it, to help enhance, bring it home to you a little bit. But the ab pull-in is the thing I want you to do. So we distinguish between those two topics, right? They relate together, but they're not exactly the same. So ideally, you'd want to be in this basic alignment position. You can see the model here is lying on her back, and you could use either the floor or your bed. Don't stress it if you can't get to the floor, although the floor is definitely preferable because it's a little more supportive. It's harder. And she's got her knees bent, her feet flat, her arms by her side, and her face is kind of looking up to the ceiling without tweaking. So in other words, her chin does not jut up to the ceiling, nor does it jam down to her chest. And she's got that padding, which is optional because that's about comfort. We all have a neck curve. It's sometimes some people I know I like to do this, is support the neck curve with a little padding so that the neck is not hanging out in space. But again, this is completely up to you in terms of how you feel. So for our purposes today, this position will do just fine. One other thing I'd like to say is from the top of your head to the bottom of your pelvis, try to have that in a straight line. And again, we don't have to stress this, but if you can manage to get into something, a semblance of that, you're going to do better. If you are serious about healing long-standing body pain, then you probably need more instruction around getting into good alignment. And the whole book from the first half, which is the holistic foundation, all the way through the second half, which is about exercising, talks to you very, very much about getting into good alignment. So if you're serious about healing using movement, I would suggest going to my book and going through those alignment points, as well as all the movements and the breathing and the exercises. All right, so you're in position. Next thing we're going to do is just warm ourselves up. We want to shake off some tension. We want to get some muscles rolling a little bit. Very simple. We're just going to breathe. And we're going to breathe and we're going to pay attention. So I'd like you to inhale. And when you inhale, try to take a nice deep breath, and then exhale, relax the weight of the body into the floor. Just let it go. And again, inhale, taking air into your lungs, into your trunk, into your ribs, and exhale, release, relax, let the weight of your body sink into the floor. And one more time, inhale, expand your world with air, exhale, relax, let the floor or the bed take the weight of your body. You don't have to hold it up anymore. You are on a supportive surface and you can let everything go. And we're going to do this one more time. And what I'd like you to do this time is we will focus on the structures of the upper body in particular. And the reason I do this is because, yes, we are working with the pelvis today. We're going to work with that area below the belly button. But I find that a lot of times when people carry tension in their shoulders or their neck or their jaw, this, believe it or not, can interrupt the work that they do at the pelvis. It can stop people from getting a really good alignment or engaging with the muscle, or at least reduces your possibilities in that experience. So I thought, let us just spend a minute or two or moment or two softening up the upper body in particular. So here we go. Inhale, expand your world with air. Exhale, you're going to let everything soften and sink, and then paying attention to the weight of your head. Let that drop into the floor. Relax the neck, let it soften. Relax your shoulders, let them open in front and let them drop down onto the floor. Let your arms be resting on the floor. Let the ribs release and relax. Let your breastbone weight down towards the floor, and let everything soften, release, and go. Very good. I think you are ready for our zipper image. Excuse me. So what we're going to do with this zipper image is, now, again, the images are here for you to better hone or enhance your quick ab pull-in maneuver. So that maneuver is around pulling in the area below your belly button towards your spine. And when we do this, we don't really want the pelvic bone to come with. Now, normally, if you move your abdominals, most likely the pelvic bone will move, because that is one of the jobs of the ab muscle, is to help move the pelvis. But in this case, we're trying to find and feel that muscle. So we would really prefer to just isolate the contraction of the muscle and leave it at that. That means that it's probably going to be a smaller smaller movement than what you expect. But for our purposes in using this image and exploring the quick ab pull-in, that's perfectly acceptable. That's what we want. So what you're going to do is, again, we'll be inhaling and exhaling, and as you'll start that softening and releasing like you did, letting the whole body sink into the floor, and towards the end of your exhale, you'll be pulling in the place below your belly button, but you'll be using a zipper image, like you're trying to zip up from pubic bone to belly button. So let me paint this little scenario for you, because this is probably the best analogy I can think of. You just purchased the most awesome pair of jeans you have ever seen, and you were completely excited to wear them. The only problem is, when you were at the store, the size that they had was half size smaller than what you are. So they just didn't have your size, but they did have that half size smaller. So you're like, this is my jeans. This is the jeans of the century, and I've been waiting for this exact pair of jeans. I have got to have this. So you buy it anyway. You go home and you try to stuff yourself in the jeans, and you get pretty far. You got your legs in there, and you've got the jeans up over your, the top part up over your waist, and you even have the button buttoned. But now there's a big hole where the zipper is, because you got to get those two sides to cinch in together in the center, i.e. pull up the zipper. So I want you to think about it like that, so that you can really get right what we're talking about here in terms of the muscle and how we want it to cinch into the center. Remember, it's not about moving the pelvic bone, so resist the temptation without stiffening up. If you make a mistake and it moves, fine. Just be aware of that, because that awareness will feed your success the next time you try it. But ideally, if you can stop the pelvis from moving and just isolate the attention to your abs, you're doing the best job possible. So let's try this. Take a nice deep breath and exhale, soften the body, release it into the floor. And towards the end of the exhale, zip up in those tight jeans, pulling the ends of the zipper towards one another in the center, zipping up from pubic bone to belly button, and relax. Very good. Let's try it again. Inhale, expand your world with air. Exhale, let the body soften, release and relax. And towards the end of the exhale, zip up from pubic bone to belly button, bringing the two ends of the zipper towards one another in the center, cinching them into the center so you could fit in those jeans, and relax. Take an integrative breath. Inhale for no reason. Exhale for no reason. Release and relax. And we will do this one more time. Are you ready? Inhale. Take the air in. Expand the world with air. Let the air nourish your cells as you take it in. And exhale, soften the body into the floor, zipping up towards the end of the exhale, zipping up from pubic bone to belly button, bringing the two ends of the zipper towards one another in the center, cinching the muscles closed, zipping up, fitting into your jeans, and relax. You have fit into your jeans, and now you can parade them around town and let everybody know just how great they are. Very good. Okay, so that is the zipper image. And it is a very active image, as you can tell. Some images we use are a little bit more relaxing. Some images can be relaxed. Like the one we're going to learn next time is one that is relaxing to do, but is still an activating image. Other images help you release. So there's and some other images actually just help you move better. So that's the application of images. They really bring some very specific, very functional work home to the average person to help you get more in your body and operate it with more ease and skill. And so the quick ab pull-in then is a core ignition method, and you've just now learned one of the two images that we're going to learn to help holistically get into that core ignition experience. And in my mind, this is the start of a healing relationship with your body. So I congratulate you and thank you for spending the time with me doing this. And I want to leave you with this one thought, and that is that not only does this work that I do here in these webinars, in my books, and with clients and students, not only does it help you turn exercise into a therapeutic experience, but it works in the opposite way as well. Over time, it can help turn a good therapy into an exercise system. And this is what happened to me, because when I started, I just was a big mess. I mean, my sacroiliac joint would go out of me, and I would, I remember one day I had to lie on the floor and I could not get up for like 8 hours because my sacroiliac joint was so apart at the seams. And I also had other things. I was extremely weak. I had posture contortions, and I was a big mess. And this quick ab pull-in was the very first thing that I learned. And I started right where I was at. That was about the only thing I was able to do. And over time, as I got stronger, I was able to add more and more and more and more things, most of them therapeutic for a long while, where, it was all about recovering, healing, getting stronger, and not having pain. But over time, that changed. And now, years later, true, I am able to vigorously exercise. As a matter of fact, I look forward to my exercise. I do not get pain. And the few times that I do get pain, I know exactly what to do about it because I have my healing tool set that I've developed over the years. And previously I could not go into a gym and do the machines and hope to come out of it without some really bad pain. But now I look forward to it. I mean, it's my time of the week where I can just, go full out, get strong, and I feel better for it. And that is because I started with something very simple that I was able to do, like the quick ab pull-in, and I built on that. So I did therapy and I turned it eventually into an exercise experience. And I hope that if that's the kind of thing you're looking for, that you find it here, because there's lots of techniques, both, excuse me, in the webinars that I'll share and in the book. And along those lines, to end, there are 2 ways to buy the book if you're so interested, if you're so inclined. Number 1 is through Kindle. If you follow this nice little link, posturally.com/book, it will take you to the Kindle page. Posturally is spelled POSTURALLY.com/book. If you'd rather work with if you're not into screen reading or you don't have a Kindle, you could also get the PDF version by emailing me, POSTURALLY@gmail.com. And, I was thinking about, I didn't do this myself, but I'm thinking at some point I might. You could actually print out the PDF version of the book and put it in a notebook, and then you'll have like a little journal/checklist for all of the techniques, because the more you go through them, the more you learn them, they become your own, and then you can integrate them as into your exercise program as you actually get a chance to do while you're in the book. And so it's kind of nice to be able to either check something off or write down a question or take notes, put little divider tabs in there so you know right where you left off. So it may be a really good experience to actually email me for the PDF. And again, that's POSTURALLY. Well, I thank you so much for spending your time with me on using the zipper image to get your quick ab pull-in going and trying to ignite that very supportive transverse abdominis muscle into your body, because I know from personal experience and experience working with clients, that's one of the most important muscles for back pain relief and for good posture. So I wish you a pain-free day. And once again, thank you so much for your time.